Well, the day after, I'm doing like a breakfast with the ham, cranberry, egg and cheese with spinach, just one egg. Like, gotta put something in the biscuit. Oh well, I don't think you can see. But anyway, I put some the ham in the biscuit. So I think it'll be exciting um, to see what's gonna happen with the election. Gotta turn the light on. Yeah. So just put some more of that spinach in my eggs. Best thing about Thanksgiving is the leftovers. Eating them in different ways. uh, I had my uh, cheesecake. I had got truffle cheesecake. Well, and it's really I'm sort of like I think it's good news that we are looking into men behavior and I was trying to think um when Einstein came here. I can't think of the guy's name that was actually building the nuclear bomb and testing it, but I believe he was a pedophile, and he picked a place out near a boys' activity thing, and the United States knew, but it was more, they told him to knock it off. I'm gonna have to go look up his name, but he was married, and like they worked really hard, and he had children and everything, which is not uncommon because if you're a pedophile, what other way can you guarantee to have somebody take advantage of you? Or you gonna have somebody take advantage of? That's twisting my hair. But then have your own kids. And they get drunk and they have mad orgies on the weekends. Like a lot of alcohol. And like you always hear like, oh, marijuana is the gate drug to or the gateway to drugs, marijuana. But at this time and stage, it was alcohol and cigarettes was the gateway to doing other drugs, and it wasn't um, it wasn't like, oh, first drug or first something somebody did was uh, uh, was like do marijuana. You know, cigarettes very popular. The United States had a bunch of cigarette companies. They were making a lot of money. Tobacco fields, and so pretty much, um, really, cigarettes became a big taboo when they decided to have it all about a drug and sex and drugs, like the stuff the peace revolution. They flooded the cities, the 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 um the inner cities where the working class was. Black people. They flooded with cocaine. Famous trials went on in Congress with Oliver North over the CIA bringing in drugs. I think Rick Ross, not the rap singer that was so jealous of Rick Ross, when he was working, I guess, sort of like a policeman or a jailer. Well, and, the one thing that racists is that they really are able to get black people on is to be jealous. You know, I've known black people. They see a black person in a car, like they be, oh, that's niggerish. They see a white person in a car, like, oh, that's a nice car. There's That's part of that Jim Crow mind training. You know, it's part of hearing your black parents telling their kids they're bad. You know, um, um, uh, you're from a very young age you're installing to them that they're bad, they're less than. A lot of black people, they don't like their hair. It's a lot of work to keep up hair. You know, I've known black people that had a mixed baby and was pissed off because they couldn't do black hair before, and they still can't do hair. You know, because everybody's hair will frizz up on humidity or have bad hair days. If you put a lot of products on or you don't let the scalp breathe, a lot of stuff that they, like black people use, it's, like the glue, the hair extension. A lot of this can damage the hair from the roots. So, I've seen a lot of ladies that are my age now that, have worn a lot of hair extensions and stuff like that, and those tie braids, they're bald. Mm. I just try to keep mine clean. But anyway, so we we've had. I would say that if you just sort of look at the history of American pedophilia with like Walt Disney, who was supposed to be a pedophilia, the people that work in Little Rascals, there was a thing about where they would the pedophilias they want um the parents to see their kids as being older than what they are. Like in the show The Little Rascals, you never see them with a parent, or you see like Dennis the Menace, he makes friends with the older gentleman down the street. And I'm single, and I thought I wanted to babysit, like maybe get some extra money until somebody offered me a babysitting job. I was like, no. It's like the kids, the kids are members of their environment. I've seen the type of people that hang around the one that's taking care of him. The poor child lost a mom. You know, there's still, there's really a lot of complications for promiscuous activities, and like with the Playboy book, Playboy magazine, Hefner or whatever, um, you know, he also had promoted the wrong type of behavior towards women. A lot of people are like, oh, he did women good, you know, but I remember some women that had modeled in the Playboy magazine that weren't able to get a job after that. Some were. Some would just work the opposite. So, um, the drug and sexual revolution, it made a lot of men thinking it was okay to like if they put the armor over a girl's shoulder to put a hand on her breast, especially if they're new breasts, you know. Um and because like really, you're shocked and you really, besides from like maybe want to kick him in his grinds or punch him in his nose, it's not really a correct response, you know, for some, because it's really assault. Even to me, it's like somebody's kissing me that I don't even know or anything. I feel like I've been assaulted, and I feel like I have the right to, you know, who knows what this fool's gonna do? You know, you have the right to beat him over the head with your pocketbook or a cane. Anyway, whatever. But but um, and a lot of times mothers will think that this is, pretty much this is the way it is. This is the way it's always been. You know, it was the original like job or whatever. And like in my mind, the first job they had to have, you always hear about like Jesus was a fisherman and a carpenter. The people back there, well, they had to depend on, you know, uh, um, their abilities to make shelter, to have clothing, and to be able to, provide food for themselves. That was probably more important than sex, you know. Um, Being able to clothe, feed, and house yourself. Filled up probably a lot of their times up when you're working the land, or you're building the boat to take out in the oceans. You're making the net to catch the fish, or, you know, or maybe you're making traps to catch crabs or small animals. You know, so a lot of your time would be taken up with finding food, making clothing, keeping your shelter. Correct. You know, um, and but today in modern time, with the internet, they said the internet didn't even start popping off until um, they, like put a bunch of X-rated stuff on there, and it's more common, it's more acceptable to see women, as sexual beings, you know, um, you see all these new sex toys, robots that are geared to men. Like this one guy is like, he's like, he's like their idea of propositioning is basically just straight out asking if you want to fuck. I mean, they can't use that word, they're Christians, but so and like I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, and I'm celibate. I don't want to be bothered with that shit. Oh well, it's about feeling good. I'm like, no, sex was to have babies. No, it ain't about having no babies. It's to feel good. I'm like, nah, it was about you feeling good, but women, it's about them having babies, and you end up being a father. That's why half his kids. Mm, but anyway, 'cause he was just fucking. But and so we do have a problem. We had a problem like with the police department coming into our schools. A lot of them, that was the main way they was, these kids was passing out crack. That's the main way it got in. The U.S. Marshals go from, they didn't have any borders. They go from state to state or whatever, traffic it on up, you know, get the inner kids, so. You get one. All you need is that one African American. They had to be African Americans because like Negroes wouldn't do that shit to their kids. So there has to be some separation from your history and from your culture because our culture is American. You're born here, like India. Like I hear black people like at one that we don't have a culture. I mean, wow, like that's some Jim Crow you know, mind, you know, zoo stuff on, you know, and it's so we're here at a time to where we could see that it is not helpful for our society to have people that abuse children. Like I think Moore did. If they were 14 years old, it doesn't matter, you know, if you got their mother's permission, and it wouldn't surprise me. You know, I don't know like why, um, you know, you think it's okay for this kid to really go someplace because he's a complete stranger. Like if a man asked me to babysit like a 14-year-old kid that's with me, I'd be like, excuse you, you know, I don't think so, you know. But a lot of time, you know, their mothers are conditioned. Like in New York, um, you know, they have big sex industry, and you know, a lot of times it was the mothers hurry up and put them out there right away. So the people that so we do have a sick society. We do have a society to where you know, women are seen as just, you know, second citizens in some cases, just for the, you know, the entertainment and enjoyment and the use and the rental of the males. And I think that's the number one reason in our society that we have such a sickness and such a madness. Not only with the STDs from AIDS to syphilis and gonorrhea. Um, and these were all things that a woman has to bear the shame and the burden of, um, um, and the humiliation of, you know, the disgrace. Uh, so so we have to put away really our wants, our needs, our happiness at the expense of men, you know, having 2 or 3 minutes of self gratification, you know, at the woman's expense. And I think that as long as our society uh, is geared that way, and especially on the down low with this type of overly sex deviant type of behavior, even if it's with two adults, like uh, uh, I can't think of his name, but the one that like had the couch talks or whatever, where the woman's going in there for a job, and he comes out in his robe and he's naked and he wants his penis massaged and all this stuff, you know, that is all type of illness. And just because, you know, it's so prevalent doesn't make it not an illness. It's just like just when AIDS epidemic was such a prevalent, you know, we have a diabetes epidemic. We have people that are on dialysis. We have hepatitis epidemic, and that doesn't make it the norm or right. You know, we have a lot of cancer. We have a cancer epidemic. That doesn't make it the norm or the right for the community. It just makes it something that the community hasn't focused enough time, money, and energy and thought on to cure for solutions. You know, we're more ones that are judging, criticizing, ridiculing, and hating. You know, and as long as we have that type of attitude, I think that we will see more. Um, I think we'll see more men really being serial killers, being full of hate and rage. I think there's a lot of self hate that comes with that type of behavior from men. You know, if they were with their mom, and you know, every time she brought another man home, they had him calling him daddy. Mom didn't protect me. There's a, you know, if you're a female and you know, dad was raping you, or if you're just the wife and you know your husband's going to work and his secretary is giving him a hand job, every day, or a blowjob, or he's just having sex with, with numerous women, that he comes in contact with. If he's always, say, there's a lot of resentment that comes along with that. And even on the men's side, he has to, defend, deny, and maybe it'll cause a ripple in the relationship. Maybe he doesn't want to have to do all the child support. He doesn't want to divorce the wife and do all that. It's not good for his image. He can't continue being, you know, going on. He can't continue with the same behavior. With women using excuse, well, I'm married, so it's a one night stand or whatever, and that does cause uh, a lot of health problems. So I think that as long as we don't see it as what it is and what it does to our children, even if you're not, even if you're just a guy and you're a player and you got 4 or 5 women, you got and you got 3 or 4 baby mamas, you know, and you got 8 or 9 kids all over the place with these 3 or 4 baby mamas, and you got these other women that are on the sideline. And of course, that means you're not using any rubbers. And believe me, if you got 3 or 4, 5 women that you messing around with, okay, you're not seeing them regularly, and that means they're seeing somebody else too. I guarantee you. So anyway, let me get off. Have a good day.